Well, hey, congratulations for the apology.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem, not a problem. So let's start off with this. Where the original idea came from for your film?
Yes, so I was always fascinated with true crime stories. And then one night this is gonna sound cheesy, but it's true. I had a dream. And in the dream, there was a knock on my front door in the middle of the night, and there was a man on the other side that said, "I know what happened to your daughter." And now I do not have a missing daughter. So this came from that came from that story. That came from reading all of those stories for years. And I woke up and wrote it down, and then I started to think about what was interesting to me about that interaction, what was interesting to me about that woman, what part of me was in her. And as I wrote it, I realized that it was really becoming a metaphor for what it was like to take care of my daughter who's autistic, and all of the advocacy and everything that went into that it felt like I was always fighting, and continues to feel like I'm always fighting for her and trying not to get completely obsessed and pulled down by it. And so I sort of related to these families, even though obviously it's, night and day from what their experience must be like. But it was just even the little things like the nightmare of paperwork that both positions involve. It was just a hellscape. So it was just about pushing, constantly continuing to push yourself to be there for your loved one.
Wow, that must have been some dream, and glad you somehow took notes just from something small like that. So just from that brief moment of your dream, how did you want to expand it into this, this huge mystery per se, or did you want to make it more like a drama, between a conflict between two people?
I was always much more interested in the drama and the conflict between them. It was always like, okay, who is this man? And what does he mean to her, if anything? At first it was like, maybe he's a stranger. And then it was like, it was much more fascinating if it was about two people with a lot of history that was unresolved, and them trying to work through all of that. The idea that you could just work through anything like this, that's sort of Jack's delusion, is that he thinks that, he can come in there and we're going to work it out. That's like, no, that's not really, that's something that's that simple to work out. But that was what was always fascinating to me, was what happens when these two positions that would normally never be together. That's why there's the reference in the film to Dickens, because it's sort of a ghost of Christmas past thing. It's like that would never happen in real life. That's the sort of fairy tale aspect of the film, is that these folks would not get together on a snowy Christmas Eve and have it out. But in my world, they do.
I was gonna say, I'm not even sure if anyone accepts this type of apology per se.
Well, that's the idea, is like, how do you even begin to try to apologize for something like that? How do you even begin to try to even hear that? Like that's I can't, obviously I can imagine it because I made the film, but it's in terms of my own personal life, it's the idea of contrition, the idea of compassion, the idea of change. Is it really possible? What are the steps that have to happen for that to even be possible? How much of a responsibility do you have to somebody else if they're trying to do that? Those are the sorts of things that I wanted to explore in the movie.
Most excellent. And I love the fact that you kept it simple. Small cast is it's very, I want to say, controllable and easy to direct, per se. Talk about your cast, because I do have to give credit to Anna for sure. She did an excellent job. Yeah.
Yes, she did. She gave an incredible performance. There's so much courage on screen from her in so many ways. The physical aspects, there's so much stunt work, there's so much deep emotional work, and she and I are both mothers, and we bonded over that. So there was a lot of, for both of us, a lot of personal things that are put into it in terms of just those emotions. So yeah, it was I still feel so fortunate to have gotten to work with this incredible cast. Linus Roache was incredible because he really seemed to immediately understand that I understood that I wanted to explore something more with Jack in terms of the ideas of, toxic masculinity and what is possible in terms of change, especially when you've been a destructive person. And he just was on board right away. And of course, Janeane is just a big, beautiful brain, so smart, so funny, and so supportive. Like she's notorious for that, like really supporting small indie filmmakers. So yeah.
I know. I think the one most important lesson I learned through this film is everyone should learn how to properly tie someone down.
Yes. Don't use the ties that they brought.
Tell us about the production set that you actually, because it's like the cast, it's very simple. Is it all in one location?
Yes, it is. It is basically all in Darlene's home, and we shot it in Los Angeles, and it is a Christmas film in the middle of a snowstorm. So that was a fun challenge, but it was also genuinely fun. It was fascinating to me, just being a film nerd. This is my first feature, having access to that kind of thing and seeing the process of how they put that together. We had an incredible production designer, Tom Obed, and his art department. We're just happy elves, just running around the house, bringing all of these, like my producer, Kim Sherman, likes to call it the bookshelves in my mind, like all the detail that I wanted for this house. And that art department just made it sing, really personalized all of these little things. There's a lot of my own stuff in the house. There's like Christmas decorations that are mine. The tree topper is mine. So they come from DIY. So I didn't understand, genuinely, it took me a bit to understand that they did not need me to supply art department pieces. But I'm a little superstitious about it too, where it's like, it's nice to have something personal in your film that people can see. I feel like there's a little something that gets absorbed in all of that. So even though it's simple in that it is all in this one house, the attention to detail in terms of making this house, I always called it like not an official haunted house, but a bit haunted, in that the spirit of Sally is like soaked into the house and she's living with that every day. So we had a lot of fun putting all of that together.
It is always funny, right? Like in a lot of movies, Christmas time is either going to be a joyous occasion or just completely reversed.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, and obviously, as I made one, I am obsessed with Christmas films, and especially dark Christmas films. Like I love In Bruges, I love Black Christmas, I love even Inside. I love like anything that's set at that time, because I feel like it's so fraught with like a time of reflection, and also it's just so fun to see all the Christmas lights and stuff.
That's true, and you fooled me. I could not tell you that this was in Los Angeles.
Yes, we did also film some in Wisconsin. So there was one day of exteriors in Wisconsin, and some the aerials for the opening and closing were also shot there. We're not that good. We're good, but we're not whole blankets of snow in LA.
I know. I was like, wait, that is some massive production work there.
Yes.
So, Allie, tell us, after getting this film under your belt, how was your overall experience making this your feature film debut?
Oh, it was the best of times and the worst of times, for sure. I mean, because it was so emotional, and so it was such a learning curve, going from, like I say, DIY, I've got to pull the art department stuff out of my own house, to I have, 100 gifted artists working on this film with me, and learning the communication of that, learning like, just managing all of that, and also just managing my own feelings. I mean, I tend to be a very one of my other producers, Stacey Jorgensen, who's the one who first championed this, and I made films with her before, short films and stuff. She would always say, like, did Allie cry? If she didn't cry, we don't have the take yet. We don't have the scene. Because I'm such a notorious, like, I will, would you like to know, it's like the saying, your heart is on your sleeve. I'm like, here it is. Would you like to check it out? I'm just not a very private person. So it was managing all of those big feelings in such a dramatic, dark story as well, and trying to be there for my actors while they were giving these very brave performances. It was very challenging, but very, very rewarding. I mean, the idea that I could go from being a stay-at-home mom and suddenly people wanted to know what I thought, what I wanted, what story I wanted to tell, still is very moving to me. I'm very grateful.
Well, it sounds like you had quite a ride and quite a journey with this. So let me wrap it up with this. Are you planning to do this again? I mean, obviously,
yeah.
it sounds like you had quite an experience.
Oh yes, no, it was most of the hard stuff was really just learning curve and just the hard things that come with an independent film. You know, there's everybody deals with that, less days to shoot, things like that. But I had incredible collaborators every step of the way, who were constantly inspiring me. And yeah, I'm officially addicted. So I'm just going to keep baking. Probably, horror is my big fascination. I'd like to stay in that sort of horror thriller type world. So I'm writing a slasher comedy right now, and a similarly sort of dark haunted house story. So I have a bunch of things in the works. So we'll see which one I get to make next, or which one I decide to make next, I guess.
Most excellent. Well, we really appreciate you, Ali, speaking to us about the apology. And I could tell you're already in the Christmas spirit with your outfit and the 2 Christmas trees in the background. So
you gotta, you know, I made it because I am a big nerd for Christmas. So I'll just keep it going. Happy holidays to you.
Well, happy holidays to you. And hopefully we get to do this again, whatever your next project is.
Yes, please. I'm a fan. So this was a treat. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.